Alrighty, good afternoon, Arkansas. This is Assistant Chief Forecaster Kevin back here once again. I'm here to give you guys a live update on what's going on in terms of severe weather for today and for tomorrow here, guys. So as always, give us a like, share, follow. We'll continue to keep you guys updated on the latest here. So remember that marginal risk that was in place yesterday that randomly went away? Now it's back. We do have that marginal risk in place for the natural state for today. It's going to go for the potential for a few isolated severe thunderstorms across the board as we get towards this afternoon to this evening. Shouldn't be anything too significant, and you may not even experience rain today, but for those that do experience the storms, there could be some large hail and possibly some isolated damaging winds with that as we get towards today here. So just kind of keep that in mind. We do have a margin risk across the board, so if you randomly get a storm today, you are at risk for the potential of seeing some low-end severe weather, but it shouldn't be anything major. As said before, main threat should be large hail and damaging winds across the board. Timing for this should be right around 4 o'clock this afternoon going into the early overnight hours. And as said before, not everybody's going to see rainfall today. It's going to be kind of pop-up in nature. So some areas may get a deluge while others may not see much at all here. Okay, so let's talk about tomorrow here. For some reason, this did not update correctly. So give me 1 second. Let me update this real quickly here. So for tomorrow here, we do have the enhanced risk. That was the earlier outlook. Let's go ahead and talk to you guys about tomorrow's risk. So this is tomorrow's risk. Give me 1 second. I'm getting this up right now. So that is tomorrow's risk. It's going to come up here shortly. All right, so this is the enhanced risk for much of the natural state at this point here. I want to talk to you guys about this because this enhanced risk is a little bit different from what we've seen so far this year. Normally we get an enhanced risk, you know, it's tornado driven and stuff like that. This one is strictly damaging wind potential. And I want to stress this because I know a lot of people with severe weather, they focus on the tornado threat, but damaging winds can be just as bad as dealing with, and we're dealing with the tornado threat. So keep that in mind, especially for our folks up there in northern, northwestern Arkansas as we get towards tomorrow here. This is where that potential for significant severe weather could be up there in northern and northwestern Arkansas as we get towards tomorrow afternoon here. Now, if you're away from the enhanced risk, the slight risk goes all the way down in southern Arkansas, because what's going to happen, and you're going to see this with Futurecast here in just a bit, there's going to be a line of storms that's going to develop from the plains and come all the way down into Arkansas as we get towards tomorrow afternoon and into tomorrow evening and into tomorrow night. And I do realize we have an eclipse that everybody's looking forward to seeing tomorrow. Unfortunately, everything I've seen so far in terms of guidance does not clear the cloud cover away until first thing Monday morning, and by then the eclipse is done, right? So hopefully, especially for our folks up there in northern Arkansas, the earlier you can get past this line, the better, and that way the cloud cover can start to break away and you may have a shot of seeing the eclipse. But unfortunately, for the rest of the natural state, I don't foresee that happening. I don't foresee you guys being able to see it because of the fact of the squall line kind of pushing through and the cloud cover kind of lingering behind that squall line as well here. But as said before, the enhanced risk up here in northwestern Arkansas is going to go primarily for damaging winds. But keep in mind, with all that energy we're going to have tomorrow, this is where you're going to have the potential of seeing significant severe weather up here in northern northwestern Arkansas. The slight risk areas, you're going to have to watch it as well. And then far southern Arkansas, you have the marginal risk, but I think that may get filled in with the slight risk depending on timing for you guys down there in southern Arkansas. And speaking of timing, area-wide, we're talking 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon all the way to about 1 o'clock in the morning down there in far southern Arkansas here. Large hail, the potential widespread damaging winds is on the table for us here in Arkansas, okay, especially northern northwestern Arkansas, and then the potential of a tornado or two as well, especially up there in northern and northwestern Arkansas in that enhanced risk area. That's where that tornado potential is going to be. And I do realize it's going to be right around 11 o'clock, but the problem is you're going to have a lot of cloud cover behind the line of storms, okay? That's what's going to be the issue. So northern Arkansas, you have the best potential of seeing that eclipse. However, you're going to have a lot of cloud cover behind that line of storms as it's pushing down. So that's why I'm saying you may not have a shot of seeing that eclipse. But if that line of storms can come in a lot earlier and get through the natural state a lot quicker, then you'll have a chance of breaking the cloud cover, and then you may have a shot of seeing the eclipse as we get towards tomorrow here. But right now, as it stands, I don't think that's going to be a possibility, given that you're going to have a squall line moving through during the evening and into the early overnight hours as well here. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk to you guys about the Futurecast real quick, and then as soon as I'm done with that, we're going to go ahead and get to you guys this question here. It's going to be kind of a quick live stream, kind of giving you guys some updates in terms of tomorrow here, okay? So this is going to be the Futurecast at this point, and I'm going to go ahead and kind of take this out, all right? So you're going to see about 5, 6 o'clock today, there are going to be some scattered showers, thunderstorms kind of getting going. Some areas may see some thunderstorms, while others may not. So just kind of keep that in mind as we get towards tomorrow here. This evening into tonight here. Okay, so that moves away. All right, not much going on during the overnight hours here, and then you can see just a lot of clearing for first day tomorrow. So if you have plans first thing tomorrow morning for church, etc., you should be good to go. It's going to be hot and it's going to be humid across the natural state because we're going to have a lot of moisture kind of coming in response to this front boundary coming in. So it's definitely going to be on that hot and humid side for tomorrow. Temperatures in the upper 80s, low to mid 90s. Heat indexes could be approaching near that 100-degree mark, and the humidity is really going to be up there tomorrow as well here. And so forward, this is right around, you can see about 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. There's your line of storms beginning to come in into northwestern Arkansas. Remember what I said, all that energy you're going to have in place tomorrow, you are going to have the potential of seeing a pretty damaging squall line kind of moving through Arkansas as we get towards tomorrow here, okay? There's 3 o'clock, you see up here in northern Arkansas. I'm going to zoom this down just a little bit. You can see up here from Harrison to Mountain View to Pocahontas up here in northern Arkansas. This is where you're going to see the potential of those thunderstorms moving in as we get towards 2, 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon along that cold front that's going to sag southward, all right? Then 4 o'clock, you can see the line of storms really getting going. Now, I want to stress that this is a Futurecast run. It's not going to be 100% accurate with the line of storms, so I'm pretty sure this line is probably going to stretch all the way back into northwestern Arkansas as well here. So just kind of keep that in mind here. It's just one particular guidance. It's not going to be 100% accurate with radar, but it does give you an idea on what to expect to get towards tomorrow here. And you can see about 5 o'clock, there's your line of storms beginning to form. I mean, from Fayetteville to Searcy, all the way up to near Jonesboro, making its way southward. So keep this in mind for tomorrow here. I know a lot of people are going to tune in. They're going to say, oh, the tornado threat's not there, not worried about it. You got to be ready for the damaging wind threat tomorrow, okay? Damaging winds can be said in that comment. I just saw that one comment. Straight line winds can reach 70 miles per hour. That's EF0, EF1 type damage right there, okay? So damaging winds can be just as important as dealing with a tornado threat. And I'm not ruling out the tornado threat either. It all depends on what happens with this line. If you get storms to form ahead of this line, you will have a tornado threat tomorrow. So you may have the potential of both damaging winds and the potential of an isolated tornado too tomorrow. So keep that in mind across natural state here. But there's a line of storms kind of moving through. And then you can see by the time we get towards 7 o'clock, there it is making its way down into central Arkansas. So from Fort Smith to Russellville, down to Little Rock, down towards Marble, that's where the line of storms could potentially be as we get towards tomorrow evening. So this is right around dinner time, 6, 7 o'clock tomorrow evening. Keep that in mind here, all right? What we're going to do tomorrow, right around midnight tonight, we're going to go into SWAT mode because we have the enhanced risk up there in northern Arkansas. Could that enhanced risk get bumped further south? I just saw that one comment too. That is a potential. It just depends on the timing of this line. Can you get storms ahead of the line, etc. here? So keep that in mind for tomorrow here. I'm not ruling out that enhanced risk to kind of get bumped down probably a little bit further to the south and east here, to include probably Russellville down towards the Little Rock area at this point here, okay? So you can see by the time we get towards 10 o'clock, and this is what I'm saying for those that are wondering about the eclipse, there's a line of storms just now in central Arkansas by 10. So you're going to have a lot of cloud cover up here in northern Arkansas behind the line. And in southern Arkansas, you may have a brief shot before the line gets there, but the line's going to eventually catch up to you guys. It's going to cut it off. So I think the best shot of seeing the eclipse tomorrow night is going to be for our folks up there in either southern Missouri or northern Arkansas, depending on how fast we can get rid of this line as we get towards tomorrow here. And you can see by 1 a.m., it's all the way down into southern Arkansas here. And you still have a good amount of energy you're going to be dealing with as we get towards tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening as well here. So large L, the potential widespread damaging winds is on the table, and I cannot rule out that isolated tornado potential as we get towards tomorrow here. You guys know, any warnings that get issued tomorrow, we will be live. And as a matter of fact, I just got through talking to my team about this. We are going to go live for severe thunderstorm warnings tomorrow as well, okay? Because of the fact this is going to probably be a damaging squall line moving through, and you may have severe thunderstorm warnings that have like the considerable damage tag and stuff like that. So don't be shocked tomorrow if we're live for severe thunderstorm warnings as well, because those are going to be the potential of bringing down trees, power lines, etc. here. So pretty active day coming our way as we get towards tomorrow here. So I'm going to let this loop. And while this is looping, I'm going to answer some questions here. So this is the time to ask questions. If y'all have any questions, let me know. Also, tag your friends and family in this live stream so they're not missing any kind of information at this point here. Okay, so Sean, I saw your question. Is there any chance this enhanced risk could move down into central Arkansas? That is a potential. Okay, it just depends on what happens with this line of storms. I think with it coming in at 6 to 7 o'clock, that's prime time for severe weather, because you're going to have a lot of energy to work with. So I wouldn't be shocked to see that enhanced risk get bumped down into portions of central Arkansas before it all said and done at this point here. Okay, so I know everyone's kind of wondering about specific cities as well. Everybody's in the same boat for tomorrow here. Okay, you got the enhanced risk northwestern Arkansas, the slight risk area for much of all of Arkansas at this point, and then the marginal risk at far southern Arkansas. But I think that'll probably get filled in with the slight risk before too much longer here. Probably with the day one update, it'll probably get filled in with the slight risk at this point here. Okay, so Mount Home today, as I said before, you may not even see storms. These storms are going to pop up randomly. It's going to be isolated hail and damaging winds. They're going to be loud as they occur, but it does not 100% guarantee that you're going to see severe weather for today here. Okay, so just so typical summertime pop-up thunderstorms. You may see some, and you may not across the board. Okay, so let me see here. Flying out from northwestern Arkansas, 8 o'clock tomorrow. What do you think? I think you should be relatively good to go. I'm going to stress this because timing right now is still a little bit uncertain. But the earlier you can get that line through, the better shot you're going to have here. So right now, I'm going to say you're okay. However, just kind of monitor our updates on the page. We'll have more information on that as we get towards this evening, and especially for tomorrow here. Okay, so what about the Nashville area, the DeQueen area? Same thing, guys. Okay, all across the board, every city at this point in Arkansas has the potential of seeing severe weather as we get towards tomorrow here. Everybody's in the slight risk, and then you got northwestern Arkansas and the enhanced risk. So you have the potential of seeing severe weather for tomorrow. As you can see, that line of storms impacts basically everybody in the natural state as that frontal boundary makes its way through. So just keep that in mind across the board. Great question. What about the flash flooding threat? Given that this line is going to be moving in pretty quickly, I don't think you're going to have a big flash flooding threat. I don't think you're going to have a significant flash flooding threat as we get towards your tomorrow here. Now, I will say, if this line slows down or anything like that, you may have the potential of seeing flash flooding up there in northern Arkansas, but it shouldn't be a big situation here for tomorrow here. Just kind of keep that in mind, but we will watch that potential as well here. But flash flooding, right as it stands right now, doesn't look like it's going to be a big deal here. And I'm going to warn you guys too on here. This is not going to be our last severe threat either. We have next weekend we're going to have to potentially deal with, and then the following week we may have more severe weather as well here. So this is not our only rodeo we got to get through, guys. We're going to have more chances as we get towards next weekend. We'll have more on that after we get past tomorrow here. Okay, so northeastern Arkansas, same thing goes for you. Okay, damaging winds, hail, isolated tornado 2 is the main threat. That goes for the entire state at this point. Okay, keep that in mind for tomorrow. No matter where you are, you have the potential of seeing severe weather as we get towards tomorrow here. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind here. Let me see here, going over any more questions that we have. All right, and I do appreciate y'all for tuning in. All right, I know it's kind of like Saturday afternoon, everybody's kind of out doing outdoor plans. It's pretty nice outside, so just kind of keep that in mind. If you know anybody that needs that information, just tag them. If you get to this live stream, like after the live stream is over, feel free to ask us questions and stuff like that. We'll keep you guys informed on that as well here. Okay, so as I said before, same thing for southern Arkansas, same thing for central. Folks, everybody that's asking about specific cities and counties, you are in the severe threat for tomorrow here. Let's go back to this real quick, because I know everybody's asking about that. Everybody is in the same boat for tomorrow here. Let's go back to it. This is your severe threat for tomorrow. Enhanced risk, northern Arkansas, your slight risk for much of the natural state, and then you have your marginal risk down here in southern Arkansas. Everybody's in the same boat for the potential of seeing severe weather for tomorrow here. as you saw with the Futurecast, a lot of storms moving through as we get towards tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening and then into tomorrow night here, okay? So timing right now, 3 p.m. all the way to 1 o'clock in the morning, first thing Monday morning, large hail, widespread damaging winds, and I cannot rule out an isolated tornado or two as we get towards tomorrow here, okay? So I think that's going to do it for all the questions here, guys. I think that's it. I'm not seeing any more. Let me double check and make sure we're good. All right, so as to before, guys, I do appreciate y'all for tuning in. As to before, if you know anyone that missed this live stream, kind of tag them in. That way they can get filled in with the information. If y'all have any questions, feel free to inbox us. But as I said before, everybody's in the same boat for tomorrow. Enhanced risk northwest Arkansas, slight risk across the area, and then a marginal risk down there in southern Arkansas. We'll continue to keep you guys updated right here in your source for all things Arkansas weather.